Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to serve as your master of ceremony today. Today allows us to create the strong bonds of working relationships, collaboration, and partnership as we strive to assist the most vulnerable people in our society. Let me commend the SSDF on its work which bring equality for all. As once said by Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, who directed his housing policy toward the most vulnerable by treating land and home ownership as matters of dignity, stability, and generational wealth. His administration prioritized ordinary citizens by directing revenue into affordable housing and offering land at low cost. Today, we will witness the reality of this statement. Please note, the government of St. Lucia funds the SSDF Housing Assistance Program. Honorable Dr. Chandali Haraksin, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister. Honorable Emma Hippolyte, Minister of Equity, Labor, Gender and Elderly Affairs, Social Justice and Consumer Welfare. Honorable Kenson Kazame, he'll be 2 minutes late. Minister for Education, Youth Development, Sports and Digital Transformation. Permanent Secretaries in the various ministries. Mr. Saturninus John Victorin, Executive Director of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, Chair of the Board of SSDF and board members present, heads of the various units of the SSDF, resource mobilization officers, technical team, support service team, our invaluable partners, Dr. Carlin Mason, Executive Director for the Center for the Renewal of Adolescent Education, CARE, coordinators and faculty members of CARE, Dr. Fortuna Anthony, Deputy Chair of the Board of Staff of Lewis Community College, Board Member Governor, Mr. Johnny LeBon, deans, heads of departments, and faculty members of the SALCC. Mr. Christy Felix, Deputy Director of Bodiley Correctional Facility, representatives of the various departments of the facility, construction team of the Bodiley Correction Facility, our esteemed sponsors, Mr. John James, Manager of Y&J Entrepreneurial Groups, Mr. Misris Kenaisha Isbert, Managing Director of NEMO, Mr. Ross Gardiner, Managing Director of Carrasco and Sons Limited. Specially invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it would be remiss of me if I did not mention Mr. Omari Frederick, Senior Manager, Corporate Communications, St. Lucia Electricity Services, Mr. Kelly Michel, Marketing and Communication Manager, Massey Stores, St. Lucia. These two long-standing form family members of the SSDF. They understand what social investment does for a country. Round of applause to them, please. Members of the media, I am Trevon Richard, and it's my pleasure to serve as your master of ceremony today. Welcome. Can we all stand as I invite Ms. Terencia Antoine to lead us in a word of praise.
Blessed morning to all. Master of Ceremony, I would like to adopt the protocol already established. Catholics, please sign yourself. Heavenly Father, Almighty God, we come before you this day with grateful hearts, thanking you for the gift of life, for guidance, and for the shared vision that gathers us together. We invite your divine presence, wisdom, and grace into this room as we witness this meaningful collaboration. Lord, today we lift up the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, the Care Center, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and the Border Lake Correctional Facility. We thank you for the unique and vital role each institution plays in the fabric of our society. We thank you for this memorandum of understanding, which stands as a powerful testament to the belief that transformation is possible when we work together. We ask that you bless this partnership with a deep sense of purpose. Where there is a need for restoration, let this alliance bring hope. Where there is a desire for growth, let it provide education, skills, and opportunity. As these stakeholders put pen to paper today, we pray that this agreement transcends words and becomes a living, breathing catalyst for change. Grant wisdom and compassion to our social development officers as they advocate for the vulnerable. Grant patience, innovation, and heart to our educators and instructors as they unlock human potential. Grant strength, vision, and restorative grace to those guiding individuals toward rehabilitation and a fresh start. May this partnership build a stronger bridge from confinement to community, from vulnerability to self-sufficiency, and from potential to purpose. Let our joint efforts remind those we serve that they are not forgotten and that the future holds immense value. Bless the leaders of these organizations, the hands that will sign these documents, and every individual whose life will be positively impacted by this framework. We commit this ceremony and the future of this partnership into your divine hands. In your holy and mighty name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Antoine. Events like this must be anointed before we start. Please remain standing at attention for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly be seated. Help me to welcome to the podium Ms. Donna Sedmath, the first individual carrying the designation of Housing Program Coordinator with responsibility to providing oversight for the implementation and management of the Housing Assistance Program. Round of applause to welcome her in.
A pleasant good morning to all. Thank you all for being here today. Honorable Shanda Lee Haraxon, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established. Yes, thank you. However, I would like to recognize Honorable Emma Hippolyte, Minister of Equity, Labor, Gender, and Elderly Affairs, Social Justice, and Consumers Affairs. The Executive Director of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, Mr. John Victorin, distinguished guests, partners, colleagues, welcome. Welcome to this milestone Memorandum of Understanding. The signing of Memorandum of Understanding unifies 4 distinct organizations between the St. Lucia Social Development Fund Housing Assistance Program, Border Lake Correctional Facilities, Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and the Center for Adolescence Renewal and Education. Together, we form a powerful collaborative framework. Our shared goal is sustainable social development. The partnership bridges housing, education, rehabilitation, and skills. To the SSDF, this MOU represents more than just a signature on paper. It reflects a shared commitment to empower the beneficiaries that we serve. Our service rests on pillars of providing access to safe, stable, and dignified houses, whilst promoting working together in accordance, in a structured and a responsible way. Housing is a basic human need, and it is a fundamental human right. When people have a stable place to live, they can focus on work, education, health, and building a better future. Yet many marginalized individuals and families lack this basic human right. That is why partnerships like the one we formalize today are so essential. Today's agreement brings together strengths, expertise, and resources of all involved parties. Through this MOU, we aim to coordinate effort to provide sustainable homes for the underprivileged, to empower the individuals we serve, to promote community and private sector involvement, to promote pathways for our partners to give back to society and provide hands-on training to all involved, to establish the framework that will encourage citizens and organizations to contribute to social, environmental, and ethical causes to address the lack of available housing to the marginalized. Most importantly, this MOU is a promise to act, a commitment to turn plans into progress by working together, monitoring outcomes, and improving our approach as we learn what works best. To everyone who has contributed in getting us here today, our partners, our stakeholders, teams on the ground, and those who have advocated for housing, I would like to say thank you. Your dedication and hard work have helped to bring this opportunity to fruitage. As we sign this MOU today, I encourage all of us to keep 3 Ps at the center of our efforts: people, partnership, and progress. People means we stay focused on the needs and realities of those we serve. Partnership amplifies that we trust one another, communicate openly, and solve problems together. Progress means we measure results, address gaps, and continue strengthening the housing support we provide. To everyone involved in this MOU, thank you. We look forward to the impact this partnership will make. One household, one family, and one community at a time. In the words of Matthew Desmond, who was once homeless, he stated, "It is hard to argue that housing is not a fundamental need. Decent, affordable housing should be a basic human right for everyone in this country." The reason is simple. Without stable shelter, everyone else falls apart. The above quote is supported by the Honorable Prime Minister, who stated on June 13th, as he addressed the Citizen Investment Program, and I quote, "For too many St. Lucians, home ownership is just too cost prohibitive. The administration is taking action to break down barriers to home ownership to give ordinary families a real opportunity to become first-time homeowners." End of quote. Today, together, we will make this a reality, each playing a significant role in providing sustainable homes to St. Lucians who are marginalized. Once again, welcome.
Thank you, Ms. St. Marth. Allow me to welcome the Honorable Kenson Kazame. At this moment, I am now inviting the Executive Director of the SSDF, a visionary who will transform the work of the SSDF one step at a time, to offer his remarks. A round of applause, please.
I beg for the adoption of the protocol that has already been established, but I will take time out, very conscious of the fact that I don't drift into the area of recognizing every individual in the room. So I will recognize the Honorable Shanali Hyraxon, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, Minister for Equity, Labor, Gender, Elderly Affairs, Social Justice, and Consumer Welfare, Honorable Kinson Casimir, Minister for Education, Digital Transformation, Youth and Sports, our Chairman, Mr. Francis, our Deputy Chairman, Mr. Williams, our partners, special invited guests, the media, members of the SSDF team, a special good morning to you all. Morning? Morning? Morning. I didn't get a response, so I was wondering for a while. Well, it was the afternoon, yes. Today's MOU signing ceremony makes official a critical step in our journey to provide housing support to the most vulnerable in our society. At the SSDF, on an annual basis, we are preoccupied with the question whether we can do a lot more with the resources that have been allocated to us. And in the case of the Housing Assistance Program, the response to this question is even more pressing, because we have an appreciation for the effect of poor, or the effects of poor housing conditions on the most vulnerable in our society. The reality is poor housing conditions affect the physical and mental health of individuals. Poor housing conditions also affect most profusely the younger individuals within the household, the children within that household. It affects the future outcome of these individuals, these young children. And as a result, we felt the compulsion to explore the possibility of reducing the cost of our housing program, especially targeting the labor component of the program, which is why we are here today to sign these memorandum of understanding that would help us reduce the labor costs of constructing houses for the prospective beneficiaries of the program. We understand that in order to get this done, we would need to engage other critical partners. And when the question was put forth to the implementation team of the Housing Assistance Program, they identified some critical partners: the Bodley Correctional Facility, CARE, as well as Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. Once these partners were identified, we moved to engage the partners. So we engaged the correctional facility. Fortunately, we had an established relationship with the correctional facility through our community reintegration program, and they welcomed the idea of partnering to implement the housing assistance program. And our partnership with Bodley has gone beyond just the housing assistance and the community reentry program. We are also partners in the development of the information management system at the Bodley Correctional Facility. So Bodley embraced the opportunity to partner with us for the implementation of our housing assistance program. CARE is another agency which we have done a lot of work with in the past. A number of our participants in the All Boys Matter program attend the CARE Institute. So we have partnered with CARE for a number of years. And we also approached the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College and discussed the possibility of the partnership. We had a number of meetings. We circulated a draft MOU. The various agencies provided their feedback. And today we are here to sign that MOU that all the agencies involved have agreed on. For us, it is not simply a matter of, while it is critical that we reduce on the labor costs as it relates to the construction of these houses, because the savings that we realize from a reduction in the labor costs will facilitate us in our effort to meet the demand, the significant demand that exists to provide a lot more people with housing support. But it is not simply about that. I think it's an opportunity for us to develop skills. And just thinking of it this morning, CARE, the students of CARE are working towards certification. Sir Arthur Lewis, the students at Sir Arthur Lewis are working towards certification. The correctional facility, that is not quite the instance. In this instance, it's not quite the same. So, my view of it is that we must now work with the TVET Institute to ensure that we could have prior learning assessment done for these residents of the facility who have worked on the project over a period of time. So that everybody is working together in an environment that is mutually beneficial to all. So it is not just CARE, participants attaining certification and valuable experience through the construction of these houses, very valuable practical experience, and Sir Arthur Lewis the same, but the residents of the correctional facility will also be working towards getting a CVQ through the prior learning assessment approach. So they could develop their portfolio, they'll be assessed by assessors, qualified assessors, and then we could bestow a certificate of Caribbean vocational qualification on these individuals, which further enhance the possibility of these individuals reintegrating into society on completion of their sentence. So it is something that we must move to do. We must move to do. So it is not just for us about the housing program. We are an agency that is focused on improving the living conditions of the most vulnerable. Despite all the noise, what keeps me awake during the night is the sheer demand for the support that is provided by the SSDF and the challenge we face in meeting that sheer demand. And that is why this step today is so critical for us. It helps us, brings us a lot closer, a few steps closer towards meeting that demand. Today, partners, we are signing this MOU, but we must remain focused. We must continue to ensure that there are open lines of communication between us, that we communicate on a regular basis. If we are really going to make this thing work, we share the challenges, we share the successes of this initiative. We need to communicate on a regular basis. We need to stay committed to the MOU that we are signing, focus on the fact that we are providing housing support to the most vulnerable in our society. I've been fortunate enough to see some of the conditions that individuals live in, and when I say fortunate, it is one of the things that basically inspire me and drive me on a daily basis. When you see some of the conditions that individuals live in, it drives you to think of how you could possibly do a lot more than what you're doing at present. So we need to remain focused. We need to remain committed. It is important to us that this working relationship serves as a model, because while we are looking at signing MOUs with predominantly, with many what we could consider quote-unquote public agencies, we are also engaging the private sector to see how we could partner with the private sector to reduce the cost of the housing assistance program. So I must commend the partners who have taken this brave step to join us in our effort to ensure that we meet the need of as many vulnerable individuals out there as it relates to housing assistance. With that, I say thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Victorin. I told you guys he's a true visionary. We look forward to the other initiatives that the SSDF will embark on to positively impact the lives of vulnerable people in St. Lucia. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and view a presentation which places us in the reality of the work of the SSDF.
The St. Lucia Social Development Fund aims to reduce poverty with the programs targeted at poor and vulnerable households, communities, and youth at risk. Through the delivery of key initiatives, which includes the provision of social support, the implementation of social infrastructural projects, capacity and institutional strengthening, and empowerment programming. These initiatives aim to facilitate human capital development, socio-economic elevation, and strengthen social cohesion in an effective and accountable manner. Based on this mandate, we have developed a strategic partnership with the correctional facility to assist with the construction of houses for the marginalized.
Now, I would like to highlight some of the projects that took place under the Housing Assistance Program last financial year. In particular, with the Borderley Correctional Facility. Because of those collaborations, we were able to hit our target and assist a number of persons who came in for assistance. Let's take a look.
My name is Anthony Joseph, serving time at the correctional facility. Basically, my first thought was I get an opportunity to go out there to show people that after prison there is life, and for us to make a contribution to society. It has been very overwhelming, and for me to be on the project with SSDF, I feel very good about that. I'll use it to the best of my ability to help myself and to send my family forward. Very well. I feel very well about it. Yes, yeah, very good that I could do something and something could come out of it. I feel very good about it, being a Christian, and that's the best Christian thing to do, by helping the poor and the needy and the vulnerable. Well, big thanks to the management, the director, and my supervisor, Mr. Henry and Mr. Frederick, for having me on this project. I feel that I'm rehabilitated for now, and I could be integrated back into society and make a meaningful contribution. Well, to my knowledge, everybody here welcome us and embrace us. We never get no discrimination or no stigmatization from anyone there. Everybody, that's a very good community. So far I could see, well, it brings a good light to the Borderley Correctional Facility and to everyone involved in this. And thanks again to my supervisor, Mr. Frederick and Mr. Henry, for putting the trust in us.
My name is Desmond Larish. Well, I felt it was a pleasure to be on that team, to, well, come like experience of to renew, to bring back the skills, improvement of the skills I knew like in my past, knowing that I'm ready to step out for the future. Well, so far it's been a very good pleasure, by the grace of God, my mother and my officer, Mr. Frederick. So far it's very good. Well, in the future I cannot predict the future, okay, but in later in the future. Since I cannot predict the future, I'm willing to do some changing in better in myself and my future and my family. Very happy. Well, for so long I've been incarcerated, I feel very great. I can't complain. I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful, very wonderful to help the whole system, the whole project. I feel very grateful. I can't complain about that. Well, based on the Bodley Correctional Facility, I won't say much, but it's very wonderful to see that you're getting the opportunity to go outside and have that kind of feeling, knowing that you're free after so many years. I can complain.
Every family deserves a safe place to call home. For Miss Thomas and her 2 daughters, that simple dream had become a daily struggle. After their home was destroyed by severe weather, they were forced to seek shelter in a single bedroom at the home of an elderly neighbor. That room became their entire living space. It served as a bedroom, living room, and safe haven. Sharing such a limited space was especially challenging, as Miss Thomas's 2 daughters have special needs, and Miss Thomas herself is an amputee. Recognizing the family's urgent need, the St. Lucia Social Development Fund partnered with the Bodley Correctional Facility to make a lasting difference. Led by Mr. Malden Frederick, the team from the Bodley Correctional Facility, alongside the technical department of SSDF, worked tirelessly for 4 weeks to transform the house into a safe, comfortable, and accessible home. Every detail was completed with care. Accessibility features were incorporated to meet Miss Thomas's mobility needs, ensuring she can move around her home with greater ease and independence. The team from the Bodley Correctional Facility completed the carpentry work throughout the home, including custom kitchen cabinets, safety handrails, and a sturdy bed frame, creating a space that is both functional and welcoming. This transformation was made even more special through the generosity of Mr. John James, owner and proprietor of Y&G Markets, who donated mattresses and bedding, helping to make the house feel like a true home. This project is a powerful reminder that when organizations, businesses, and communities come together, lives can be transformed. Comfort and hope for Mr. St. Rose and his son Kurt Brown that had not been the reality for more than 10 years. The father and son live in a dwelling that had become unsafe and unfit for human habitation. Due to a serious heart condition, Mr. St. Rose was unable to secure stable employment, making it impossible to carry out the repairs the home desperately needed. As the years passed, the condition of the house continued to deteriorate. At one point, the kitchen floor collapsed, leaving sections resting directly on the ground. The situation had reached a crisis and required immediate intervention. Working together with the St. Lucia Social Development Fund technical team, Mr. Malden Frederick with the dedicated team at Bodley Correctional Facility committed themselves to restoring the family's home. Through weeks of hard work and dedication, they transformed what was once a hazardous structure into a safe and welcoming place to live. The team from the Bodley Correctional Facility completed the carpentry work throughout the house and installed the carpet, ensuring the home was both safe and comfortable. To help the family truly settle in the new beginning, the Our Voice Matter program furnished the home with decor, bedding, and other essential household items, creating a warm and inviting space. Thanks to the generosity of Carrasco and Sons, the family received a donated water tank, providing them with a reliable supply of water, and improving the quality of life. This transformation is a testament for what can be achieved when organizations, businesses, and community partners unite with a shared.
Did you see what we were able to accomplish thus far? Now, because of this MOU signing ceremony, we will be able to do even more.
Wow, I was truly moved by that video, and I know many of you were as well. And this video doesn't capture all of the persons who benefited from this program the last financial year. Over 70 individuals and households benefited from the housing program the last financial year. Now, looking at this video, I feel like every single company in St. Lucia needs to see this video. We need to encourage them to put in some more money into this program, because the impact of this program, I don't think we can quantify it. It's only fitting now to call upon our partners to offer brief remarks. I would like to call on Dr. Carlin Mason to offer some remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. And this morning, please allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established. Nonetheless, I still would like to acknowledge the presence of our ministers who are here with us. And Honorable Dr. Sondra Lee Harak Singh, I see Honorable Minister Kenson Casimir and Honorable Minister Emma Hippolyte. I also acknowledge the presence of Executive Director, Mr. Victorin, and all the other members of fraternities, organizations, and of course the Border Lake Correctional Facility, brother, sister institution, Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We are indeed, and when I say we, I am talking of the CARE family and all other institutions who produce young people who themselves give. And this morning, as you probably would have seen on the banner, those of you who came in earlier, you see that at CARE we offer life skills development. We also offer technical skills development. And it is the combination of these skills that have put us in a position that Mr. Victorin saw it fit to come to us and acknowledge us as partners. We at CARE are now making history. We're making history because it is the first time that we would be engaged in such a partnership. In the past, we have been involved in training, on-the-job training with other partners, and that has given the young people, our adolescents, an opportunity to develop their technical skills and to also practice their life skills. However, as you would have heard, these young people are also working towards certification, and they have to develop portfolios. So now the housing assistance program provides another opportunity for them to develop their portfolio in a more authentic and meaningful way. And so for this, we are indeed grateful, sir. And Ms. St. Martha, when I saw, I'm sure most, if not all of you, like me, right now, our minds are going at a rate. How much more, or how, not even much more, how can we ourselves become involved? And for us at CARE, one of the things we are doing to further develop our program is look at our service learning component. And this program now allows us to develop officially and more formally our service learning program. It also leads me, and permit me, to do an adaptation. And that is, in the corporate sector, we hear of the CSR, don't we? Corporate social responsibility. However, now I'm thinking for us at CARE, we are working on our ISR, and that is the institution's social responsibility, along with our individual social responsibility. And so this morning, as I stand before you and I speak on behalf of CARE, we also have a lived experience when it comes to housing. And permit me just to share with you a very recent, and I'm pausing because of what it did for us, the staff. We actually had a trainee who was homeless. Unbeknownst to us, this trainee was put out. He was just 17, in his first year of the skills program, and he was told, you're a big man now, go out and find space because at home we don't have enough space. He went and was sleeping on the veranda, the porch of a neighbor who is now abroad. And it was only when the neighbor called, the young man and said, well, someone is coming to rent the space, you will have to move. That he then came and shared with his coordinator and his instructors his predicament. And what happened then? Well, as at CARE We Care, one of those instructors now has him at her home. But it goes to show that the need for housing is pervasive. The need for assistance, all of us coming together in such a manner as we will be doing officially by signing this MOU this morning, is just the first step. And I am praying, yes, I am praying that for generations to come, this MOU would be used as the benchmark for what we can do as a resilient people, being renewed, and creating sustainable change. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Colin Mason. It was really nice listening to the impact that you have had at CARE and how CARE have cared for many of the young people that comes through its doors. At this moment, I would like to invite Mr. Ajani Lebon to share some remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. And just recognizing that the protocol has already been established, I do indeed want to recognize the Minister of Equity, Honorable Hippolyte. I want to recognize the Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Haraksin, the Minister of Youth Development and Sports and Education, Honorable Kazime, the Executive Director of the SSDF and other board members of the SSDF. I want to recognize you, as well as the Executive Director, a very good friend of mine, from the Center for Adolescent Renewal and Education, Dr. Mason. The team from Bodily, it's also a pleasure to see you here. And I believe it's the first program director, manager of the Housing Assistance Program, Ms. Senmarth. Really wish to recognize you, as well as, of course, my team members at the South Louis Community College. We have our deputy chairperson, Dr. Anthony. We have our vice principal for academics, Dr. Fulgence, and other team members from the South Louis Community College. Good morning. I think many times the phrase or the statement that education is transformational is seen as very cliche. Many times people say it, and it leads me to wonder how much of that statement do we really understand and appreciate. So, for many of you who would have followed the St. Lucia Carnival Queen pageant, during the interview segment, the contestant for, well, it was Miss Republic who was asked, you're a math teacher, and you understand the challenges that many young people face in relation to math, the underperformance in math. How do you see yourself as a math teacher leading to encourage students to become more successful in math? And her response was that, I believe as a teacher that math is abstract, that it's being taught in a very abstract manner, and it doesn't connect to the realities that students experience, or that students are not seeing the linkage between math and the actual lived experience. And when I think of the statement, education is transformation, and education should be transformational, and I think of, the role of the Sir Lewis Community College. The Sir Lewis Community College as an institution, and looking at it within the scope of this partnership, has to see itself as performing a role of connecting students beyond the theory to the practice. And when you look at a partnership like this between the Bodley Correctional Facility, the SSDF, and SALCC, this for me and for the board is a very clear example of how we can ensure that students coming to the college are not just seeing it as an academic experience, but are seeing it as an experience to connect themselves to real-life examples of transformation, ways in which they could actually see themselves contributing towards community. So education is transformational, or education should be transformational, because there's the experience, there's the opportunity for students attending the Sir Lewis Community College to be involved in very practical means. For me, when I attended SAFA, the most memorable experience for me was going on internship. I studied construction engineering, and I had the experience of actually working on a job site. And that was, the most real experience, actually seeing how the job site operated. But now, under a partnership like this, we're seeing students now not waiting until internship to see how things work, but actually during their educational experience, their journey, participating in a program where they're actually able to go into communities, work alongside foremen, contractors, So what they're learning in the classroom is not abstract. They're actually going into the community, and they're seeing that in practice. And I don't want us as a country to undervalue the importance of that linkage. Because right now, with artificial intelligence, people are saying 2026 is the last year of actual, real hard work, right? Because you could easily go onto a platform, punch in some prompts, and get an immediate response. And many young people right now are choosing to go directly into the workforce because they realize that the academic experience, going to school, for them is just a waste of time, all right? When they could easily go into the workforce and make some money. But when we encourage partnerships like this, what we're saying is that your educational experience is not just about getting, letters behind your name or getting a certificate at the end of the day. It's about actually making meaningful contributions to your community. You're seeing it as you're feeding it, you're going back into your community, you're actually changing lives. And there's an added value to it beyond just receiving that certificate. So I really want to appreciate the fact that, the SSDF reached out to SAFA and CARE, as well as Bodley, to form this type of network. So, it's important, very important for the college to see itself as closing that loop between the theory and the actual experience or the practice that education should be about. The second point for me, which is important, is that of partnerships. And, I reflect a lot on the education system when we look at the grading of schools. And I strongly believe that with the grading of schools, what we're seeing is an extraction of talent and education from rural communities into more urban communities. So, for example, a student from Miku would probably prefer to go to St. Mary's College or to go to St. Joseph's Convent because these schools are seen as of greater value. To some extent, there's that stigma. So we're seeing that extraction happen. And what that is causing is a breakdown in the partnerships that should exist at the community level. because the school, to be very honest, should be a critical partner of the community or in the community. The school should have strong partnerships with the community groups, the non-governmental organizations. And with that breakdown, we're seeing a significant gap in young people not giving back to their community, or actually not being able to see the value in the very basic things they could be doing in the community to give back and to build a village. So reflecting on that and now bringing in the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, our role as an institution is to reverse that trend. Our role is to reverse the trend in ensuring that the college, and of course, there's the talk about the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College transitioning into a university college and some of those fancy terms. But the board has been very clear over the last 5 or so years that our role, yes, we can aspire to be a university college, but our role, to be very honest, is to become the best community college that we can be where we are right now. And to become that best community college, we have to build partnerships with national institutions, with community organizations, to be able to ensure that students who pass through the walls of our college are able to see added value, not just going through to receive a certificate, but seeing the tangible, the reality that you exist in a community, not just, to live and to see how you individually can benefit, but how your experience going through the college can do things like this: build homes for the less fortunate, right? To be able to make sure that your neighbor has a better experience, even though your experience may not have been the best either. And I want us to reflect on how powerful it could be through this program. For the young man, let's say from Roseau, who is a student of Sir Arthur, to be involved in this program and to contribute to building the home of his neighbor, right? The person that he wakes up and he sees on a regular, to actually be directly involved in building the home of his neighbor. And that's a very clear example of, I think, the power of the partnership that can exist between educational institutions, other educational institutions, community-based organizations, and other social agencies. So I really want to thank again the SSDF for strengthening your relationships with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College in that regard, and to say that in strengthening those partnerships, what we're also doing is building a new consciousness in our young people. In an age where things are pushing, or in an age where, the popular trend goes towards individualism, people are becoming a bit more focused on what is in it for me. What we're able to do is to promote in our young people the value of looking out for each other, the value of building partnerships, the value of understanding your community. And ultimately, when we reflect back on the cliche or the theme or the word or the phrase, education is transformational, we're truly connecting students to their local communities in a way that will build sustainable futures for the less fortunate individuals in our society, but also that students, beyond just receiving a certificate at school, are able to leave school knowing that they were of service to their community and they were of service to the country. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. LeBon. SALCC is certainly coming from the hilltop, a true educational institution serving all levels of society. At this moment, I would like to welcome Mr. Christy Felix. Christ Felix, Deputy Director of Bodily Correction Facility.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Permit me to adopt the established protocol. However, I would like to recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister, the Office of the Prime Minister, Ms. Honorable Dr. Chandali Harrison, Honorable Emma Haberlick, Minister for Equity, Social Justice, Gender, Older Persons, Labor, Cooperatives, and Consumer Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, pleasant good morning to everybody. I ponder on the presentation from SSDF on the housing project that they showed. And there were so many things running through my mind sitting next to the PS. And I just want to step back for a minute to just speak on the realities of what we see on a daily basis. A few months ago, when Mr. Victorin approached the administration of the Bodley Correctional Facility on partnering with SSDF on the constructions of houses for vulnerable persons, he did not leave the Bodley Correctional Facility without an answer. We took that opportunity to partner with the SSDF because we saw value into what the SSDF was doing. Both the SSDF and the Bodley Correctional Facility has a national mandate. The SSDF has a social development mandate, and the Bodley Correctional Facility has a mandate to rehab and reintegrate inmates. And in so doing, just looking at the presentation on the constructions of the homes for the vulnerable persons, stemming from my position into law enforcement, you can put the tie between poverty, persons in vulnerable positions, and crime. And for the SSDF to come forward and partner with the Bodley Correctional Facility, we are very grateful to assist in any way possible to ensure we can change the lives of persons in these positions. We continue to work with the SSDF and the other partners to ensure that we can change the lives of persons in our neighborhood. The SSDF is known to be the leader in community empowerment, but we will contribute however possible from our standpoint to assist in changing the lives of persons around us. The community needs empowerment, and it's our responsibility to play our part. I heard Dr. Mason use a term, IRS, and everybody, I think we should bring it out to the other institution, the other partners, all right, because we all know we have a social responsibility. And Bodley is playing its part in ensuring that we meet that mandate and the mandate of the government of St. Lucia. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the SSDF and the other partners in coming together in this, signing this MOU. It is definitely going to be a joyful encounter moving forward, working with the SSDF and all partners available. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Felix. It's really a privilege to see that the leadership at Bodley Correctional Facility has fully embraced this initiative. At this moment, let us further seal this sit-in while we hear from Mr. Brian St. Martin from the Bodley Correctional Facility as he shares his talents with us in song. Round of applause, please, for Mr. Martin.
Good day to all. I am Brian St. Martin, and it's a pleasure for me today to get the opportunity to sing you one of my songs. And I welcome every one of you with a loving and comforting heart, especially the ministers, Mr. Kazame. He's a part of the bloodline who I'm very proud of. And doctors, officers, everyone who's making it possible for such a positive impact on society and on us over here. The song I'll be singing today is called Lord, I Want to Serve You Again. I hope you enjoy. You saved me from the suffering and took away the pain. I want to serve you again. Cover me under your wings and shelter me from the rain. I want to serve you again. I got close to the gutter but didn't fall in the drain. Lord, I want to serve you again. Rather loving you than Lord, I want to serve you again. You stood up tall for me and took the fall for me. Got rid of all the stumbling blocks and all the walls for me. You are my remedy. You are my melody. You are the one who saved my soul and set my spirit free. Save me from the suffering and take away the pain. I want to serve you again. Cover me under your wings and shelter me from the rain. I want to serve you again. I got close to the gutter but didn't fall in the drain. Lord, I want to serve you again. Rather loving you than losing you. Lord, I want to serve you again. Well, Father, here I come as your prodigal son. Forgive me for my wrongs. Receive me as I am. I know I couldn't see, but your love came to me. With you I long to be, forever close to thee. Save me from the suffering and take away the pain. I want to serve you again. Cover me under your wings and shelter me from the rain. I want to serve you again. I got close to the gutters but didn't fall in the drain. Lord, I want to serve you again. Rather loving you than losing you. Lord, I want to serve you again. Baptize me with your flame. Don't let me be the same. And let me call you by your majestic almighty name. Don't let your love depart. Hear these words from my heart. I loved you from the start. And Lord, I want you back. Save me from the suffering. Take away the pain. I want to serve you again. Cover me under your wings and shelter me from the rain. I want to serve you again. I got close to the gutters, didn't fall in the drain. Lord, I want to serve you again. Rather loving you than losing you. Lord, I want to serve you again. Thank you very much.
Wow. Big round of applause again, guys. That was beautiful. A really powerful voice and a powerful message. I look forward to listening to your song on YouTube. That was really good. At this moment, I would like to welcome the Honorable Dr. Shanda Lee Haraksin for her remarks. Round of applause.
We'll have to do a duet sometime. Good morning, everyone. Protocol having already been established, but I'd also like to acknowledge the Minister for Equity, Social Justice, Gender, Older Persons, Labor, Cooperatives, and Consumer Affairs, Ms. Emma Hippolyte, Minister for Education, Youth Development, Sports and Digital Transformation, Honorable Kenson Casimir, Executive Director, St. Lucia Social Development Fund, Mr. Saturinas Victorine, I hope I got the name right, Program Coordinator, Housing Assistance Program, Ms. Donna Senmath, other stakeholders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you a warm welcome. And I must say that the video that we watched earlier had me a bit emotional, and I would like to thank the SSDF for the great work which they've been doing. I'd like to express my joy and honor in being here today on behalf of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre, who sends his warm greetings and sincere apologies for being unable to be here with you today due to another commitment. But the Prime Minister has asked me to convey his appreciation to the SSDF and every organization represented here today, because the signing of this agreement should be perceived as the beginning of a partnership that will improve the tangible lives and in lasting ways. Imagine for a moment that tonight you have no home to go back to, or your circumstances have caused your home to be in a state of disrepair. This can be one of the most terrifying and distressing situations anyone can encounter. And why is that? It is because a home is not just a building, it is freedom. It is dignity, it is hope. It is where we feel safe after a difficult day. It is where we are accepted for who we are. A place where family comes together and builds memories. But for too many St. Lucians, particularly the indigent and vulnerable households, their lived reality may be one where their house does not feel like a home. Imagine hearing every drip during a rainstorm, knowing exactly which floorboards creak, which windows won't close, which bucket catches the water when the roof leaks. Imagine lying awake during a storm, wondering if the roof will hold, feeling embarrassed every time someone visits, apologizing for your home before they even step inside. Imagine your children, grandchildren asking why they can't play in certain rooms because they aren't safe. The burden is heavier than most people realize. And that is why housing assistance deserves to be viewed as an investment in people. The government of St. Lucia has consistently placed housing among its social priorities because secure housing strengthens families, supports healthier communities, and restores dignity to those who need it most. And we recognize that the demand continues to grow. The challenge before us is not only how to build more, but how to help more people with the resources available to us. Today's partnership answers that challenge in a thoughtful and practical way. Its greatest strength lies in the fact that it addresses several needs through a single act of collaboration. Every home repaired under this initiative brings relief to a family in need. At the same time, it creates practical training for young people enrolled in the CARE program. It provides individuals at the Border Lake Correctional Facility with the opportunity to strengthen existing trade skills or develop new ones that will serve them well beyond their period of incarceration. It allows government agencies to pool resources instead of duplicating effort. And with the support of private sector partners, it extends assistance to more people than any one institution could reasonably reach on its own. That is what effective public service looks like. And I want to commend the Border Lake Correctional Facility for embracing its role in this initiative. A correctional institution should prepare individuals not only to complete a prison sentence, but to return to society equipped to build productive, independent lives. Practical skills create choices. Choices make reintegration more achievable. Every participant who leaves with a recognized trade, meaningful work experience, and a renewed sense of purpose represents an investment in a safer, stronger St. Lucia. The CARE program reflects that same investment in people. For many young St. Lucians, the transition from learning to earning depends upon having the chance to apply their skills in real working environments. This initiative offers exactly that. It provides valuable experience, practical mentorship, and financial support while allowing participants to contribute directly to the well-being of fellow citizens. Few lessons are more meaningful than seeing your work improve someone else's quality of life. And I also wish to recognize the businesses that have joined this partnership. Your involvement sends an important message. Strong communities are not built by government alone. They are built when public institutions, private enterprise, and citizens recognize a shared responsibility to contribute where they can. By lending your resources and expertise to this initiative, you are helping to restore homes, strengthen communities, and reaffirm the values of compassion and social responsibility that define us as a people. I commend the SSDF for bringing together such a broad coalition of partners. Leadership is not always measured by the programs an institution delivers itself. Sometimes it is measured by its ability to bring others together around a common purpose. That is what the SSDF has achieved here. So long after today's ceremony has ended and the signatures have been placed on these documents and they will fade into the background, what will remain is that helping hand, that one opportunity, that one person saying, "We haven't given up on you." Because hope grows when someone believes in you, and hope can change everything. So on behalf of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, and the government, I congratulate every partner gathered here this morning. Thank you for demonstrating what is possible when institutions choose cooperation over isolation, and when service to people becomes the measure of success. May this opportunity continue to restore homes, create opportunity, and strengthen communities across our nation. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our beautiful island of St. Lucia.
Thank you, Dr. Honorable Haraksin. It's really good to know that SSDF has the support of the Office of the Prime Minister. At this moment, I would like to invite Honorable Emma Hippolyte to share some remarks. Round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. You know, there is something called nothing more to say. Honorable Kenson Casimir, Minister for Education, and the others. Dr. Chandra Lee Harak Singh, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister. Mr. Victorine, Executive Director of the SSDF and Team SSDF. Dr. Colleen Mason, who's representing the ED for Care and the team at Care. Mr. Gianni LeBon, Dr. Anthony, and other members of the Board of the Safa Lewis Community College. Mr. Christy Felix, Deputy Director of Bodily and Team Bodily. Partners, private sector partners, Luslek, Massey, Carrasco, and others. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I must say that I'm particularly pleased to be here attending this very, very important ceremony today. I would say that what we are here doing, which is the official signing of this MOU, is much more than a launch of another government initiative. Today is a declaration of our nation's values. It is a declaration that every child deserves to grow up in a safe home. Every elderly citizen deserves to live in comfort and dignity. Every hardworking family deserves the security of a roof over their heads. And every citizen, regardless of income, status, or circumstance, deserves the opportunity to build a better future. Today, we affirm that decent housing is not simply a privilege for a fortunate few. It is a fundamental pillar of national development and human dignity.
We meet at a time when the global economy continues to test the resilience of every nation. The prices of cement, steel, lumber, roofing material, and countless other construction supplies continue to climb. Inflation has affected every household and every business. Governments everywhere are being forced to make difficult decisions at this time. So some would argue that this is not the time to launch an ambitious housing assistance program. But I say to you that difficult times are precisely when governments must stand close to their people. Leadership is not measured by what we do when circumstances are easy. Leadership is measured by the courage we demonstrate when the road ahead is difficult. Our administration has chosen hope over hesitation, action over excuses, and investment over neglect. We refuse to allow rising prices to become an excuse for abandoning the dreams of thousands of families who have waited far too long for decent housing. We refuse to tell hardworking mothers and fathers that they must continue living in overcrowded conditions because the global economy has become uncertain. Instead, we choose to build, we choose to renovate, we choose to invest, we choose to remove VAT on building material, and we choose to subsidize cooking gas and fuel. We choose today to collaborate with stakeholders to arrive at solutions. And I want to say we choose to collaborate with local stakeholders. So I want you to stand here and give yourself a round of applause. We choose to move forward together. For far too many of our brothers and sisters, home has meant uncertainty. It has meant leaking roofs during heavy rains, overcrowded living conditions, insecure land tenure, or the constant fear of losing the place they call home. These are not merely housing problems. They are social challenges that affect education, health, employment, family stability, and personal dignity. Every child deserves a quiet place to study. Every parent deserves the peace of knowing their family is protected. And every senior citizen deserves to enjoy their latter years in comfort and security. This SSDF Housing Assistance Program has therefore been carefully designed with one clear objective: to put people first. It will prioritize low-income families, single-parent households, persons living with disabilities, the elderly, and others who have traditionally found home ownership beyond their reach. Our vision is to create communities, not simply housing development, where families can thrive, businesses can grow, children can play safely, and as you've seen there, persons with disability moving in their homes with a bit of ease and comfort, and neighbors can build lasting relationships. I welcome this partnership, which focuses not only on improving the housing plant, but providing much needed skills in the construction sector. I think that is important for us, because as we go around, if you speak to persons in the construction industry, there is a dearth of skills. And as the Minister for Labor, I have to be signing too many work permits. So I am telling you that this program also has a new dimension, the dimension of providing skills needed in this country. Only Saturday, I sat with students from the graduating class of the Soufrière Comprehensive Secondary School. 75 persons graduated, and then I asked the principal, do you know where they're going? And she couldn't give too much of an answer as to where the 75 children are going. And I know that if we do not embrace these children and ring-fence them now, then they become candidates for the body lay. So on Saturday, we sat, and some 44 of them came in, and some want to go into Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and others want to get skills, so we have to work with them to ensure that they get into the right schools. And only Tuesday, I visited the Bodily Correctional Facility, and Officer Felix assisted. And I observed a class where men of faith had a session with about 20 fathers, men who were fathers and who were incarcerated. And you have to prepare them not only spiritually, but with the right skills to get out there and remain out there. And then I had a session with 5 juveniles. One age 15 that was observing the birthday on that day, and 4 age 17. And I can tell you, they are, in my opinion, in the wrong college at this point. These are young people and they are in the wrong college. And then I had to go into my staff and say, who is responsible for these 5? And then we need to put a meeting together to sit with another department of government to see what it is that we have to do to engage and to protect these juveniles. Because if we don't ring-fence them now, we are going to have more problems tomorrow. So this program that you're doing here, I'm very pleased that Bodily is on board, and let us give them a round of applause for being there. Now, recognizing the reality of rising construction costs, it is my sincere hope that we will embrace innovation. I've seen what we've done there now, but I'm hoping that we can also go a little further to look at construction methods to ensure that we strengthen our partnership with other local manufacturers as well who are willing to work with you and pursue cost-effective construction methods that maintain the highest standards of safety and durability. We need to examine every opportunity to reduce costs without compromising quality, because every public dollar entrusted to this government must deliver the greatest possible benefit to the people. And no government can accomplish this mission alone. Success will require the commitment of private sector, financial institutions, community organizations, churches, trade unions. So I'm pleased today that we have CARE, we have Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, we have the Bodily Correctional Facility, as well as private sector firms. So again, let us give everybody a round of applause. Because we all agree that nation building is a shared responsibility. When government, business, and citizens work together with a common purpose, there is no obstacle that cannot be overcome. To the families who have waited patiently, sometimes for years, for an opportunity to own a decent home or get the roof repaired as we move into that rainy season, I want you to know that your patience has not been forgotten. Your struggles have not gone unnoticed. This government understands that behind every housing application is a family with dreams, aspirations, and a simple desire to live with dignity. We cannot solve every housing challenge overnight, but today we take a significant step in the right direction, and we do so with determination, transparency, and accountability. History will remind us that great nations are not built during times of comfort. They are built by people who refuse to surrender to adversity. They are built by leaders who choose action over fear, and by citizens who believe that tomorrow can be better than today. So let us therefore embrace this challenge today with confidence, unity, and optimism. Let us reject the voices of doubt and instead become architects of hope for future generations. As we officially sign the MOU for the Housing Assistance Program, let this day be remembered as the day we choose to invest in people above all else. Long after today's ceremony has ended, and long after the speeches has been forgotten, families will open the doors to homes they once believed they could never own. Children will sleep safely, and parents will live with renewed confidence. Communities will prosper, and our nation will stand together because we understand that the true wealth of any country is not measured by its buildings, but by the well-being of its people. A nation is not judged solely by the heights of the buildings or the size of its economy, but by whether its people have a place to call home. Today, we begin building and repairing modern houses. We begin building hope, dignity, and opportunity. Today, brick by brick, one sheet of galvanized at a time, family by family, we will build a stronger nation for this generation and the next. May God bless every family that will benefit from this program. May He bless all those whose hands will build and repair these homes. And may He continue to bless our beloved nation as we work together to build not only homes and houses, but hope, opportunity, and a brighter future for every citizen. I need to thank you, and may God continue to bless each one of us. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, for reassuring us that the government of St. Lucia is standing by its people. Round of applause again. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we've all been waiting for, the signing of the MOU. At this moment, I invite you to listen to the 2025 first runner-up of the Inter-Commercial Calypso competition as she sings about the SSDF. Now, there's only one thing. She's unable to sing for us today because she's preserving her voice for the competition. All right, so that's the strategy so SSDF can, they could win that crown, okay? So we're going to listen to a recording of her Calypso song as I invite the partners that will be signing the MOU. Can I get Mr. John Victorin? He'll be signing on behalf of SSDF. Dr. Fortuna Anthony. She'll be signing on behalf of Sal Sisi. Dr. Colin Mason, signing on behalf of CARE. And PS, Mr. Ricky Quinlan, signing on behalf of the Bodily Correctional Facility.
Down on my knees I pray for you to stay, never to fade away. You assist the poor, some even ask for more, but your legacy is equity. That's how it has to be, 'cause no one has to be hungry, no. Nobody has to be poor, no. Not in my little country, no, 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 not any poor man. SSDF, I say, thank God you're here today. Down on my knees I pray for you to stay. Just for you to survive. Your friends do not lend you support, although some of them have a lot. This thing looking like a wicked plot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the SSDF came to the rescue to give needed assistance to you, yes. SSDF is blessed. SSDF, I say, thank God you're here today. Down on my knees I pray for you to stay, never to fade away. You assist the poor, some even ask for more, but your legacy is equity. That's how it has to be. Vouchers for groceries you give, school books the children receive. If wind blow your roof away, whoops, SSDF day. Your vision, as I see, is to wipe out poverty. No one has to be hungry in this country. SSDF, I say, thank God you're here today. Down on my knees I pray for you to stay. Your work we must applaud. SSDF, I say, thank God. If it was not for you, don't know what the poor man would do. Could me sadly see helping our families, home caregivers for elderly. Our seniors don't have to worry, their basic needs catered for daily. People happy for your hard work, making things better for the poor folk. It's clear, SSDF you care. SSDF, I say, thank God you're here today. Down on my knees I pray for you to stay, never to fade away. You assist the poor, some even ask for more, but your legacy is equity. That's how it has to be. So do not stop trying at all. Always hear the poor man's call. Whether he yellow or red, everyone has to eat a bread. So let your mantra be, let's end all poverty so we can all live in peace, love, and harmony. SSDF, I say, thank God you're here today. Down on my knees I pray, don't fade away.
Right on cue. The signing of the MOU has been accomplished. Round of applause, please. Now, we'll witness the handing over of the MOU to CARE. Now we'll witness the handing over of the MOU to SALCC, Arthur Lewis Community College. Okay. Okay. Habit. Now we'll witness the handing over of the MOU to the Bodiley Correctional Facility. Okay, thank you everyone. Round of applause, please. At the end of such an event, we give thanks with great gratitude. At this point, I would like to call Ms. Terencia Antoine, the Social Assistance Officer, to do the vote of thanks.
Once again, once again, blessed day to everyone. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management, and staff of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, we would like to thank our stakeholders, honorary guests, and media for attending this momentous occasion. We look forward to reaping the fruit that we will bear from this collaboration, as social development and empowering our people is our priority. Once again, thank you.